So hey everybody, welcome to my channel or welcome back. So today I will be doing a TTC update. So if you've seen my last kind of TTC update journey video, you will see that last month's TTC was not successful. It was a big fat negative, and we are now on to cycle 2. So last month's cycle was the first cycle since my miscarriage. So we were waiting, my last TTC update that you guys saw, we were waiting for my HCG levels to drop back down to 0 and then for my period to start again. So all that happened. It happened about a week later than we expected. We were kind of expecting for the kind of to like run like a normal cycle. So like if my miscarriage was like a normal period, then you had that month cycle or whatever you want to call it, and then my period would start where it would normally or should have started, and it didn't do that. So the doctors were a little worried. We had my blood tested again and it came back at a 7, I believe. I can't remember if I included that in the last video or not, but I think it came back around a 7 and it needed to be a 5 or lower. So we just kind of waited, and about a week late, like I said prior, about a week later, it started. The cycle started. And my husband and I, we tracked ovulation using OPKs, or ovulation predictor kits. And we did everything we should have. Normally, everything seemed normal, but it didn't happen. So we're now on to cycle 2 since my miscarriage. And this cycle was kind of funky. So my husband and I, mostly my husband, had some doubts this cycle about wanting to continue on our trying to conceive journey, or if we kind of wanted to stop and like, where do we go from here? I think he kind of got in his own head this month, and it was kind of, it's hard. I'll put it that way. It's hard to have miscarriages, and it's not just hard for the woman who's going through it, who has to deal with it. It's hard on the husbands as well. It's hard, on the fathers, because I'm not the only one that lost a child. He lost a child too. And so it's different. It's definitely different when you are trying to go through it and just, that whole thought process. Sorry, my son just got home from school and he was telling me about all that he did at school today. So I don't remember where I was, what I was talking about or where I was. But to summarize, my husband had some hesitations this month. He was really questioning if he wanted to continue on and if this was something that he wanted, if he even wanted a third child. At this point he was questioning everything, which I feel like is totally normal, especially, we're almost at a year. Next month it'll be a year since we started trying to conceive. So, I feel like that's totally normal to be like, well, what am I even doing anymore? Like, where are we? Like, what is happening? What is life at this point? What's even happening? So after, some late night talks, we finally talked through it, and, this is what we want. We're trying, we're seeing where this is going. And, at the same time, he kind of planted doubts in my mind as well, and got me thinking. It's like, well, really, like, what are we doing here? Like, what is happening? What's going on? So after we moved past kind of some of the hesitations, we decided this month we were not going to track with OPKs. Mostly because if we got pregnant this cycle, I'll be due in February, and my youngest was born in February. So we weren't really sure if we wanted to have 2 February babies. So we decided not to use OPKs. And I followed that a little bit. I'm not. I am a. I guess you could call me a pianistic addict. Like I enjoy seeing those lines pop up, and it gives me a thrill. I guess I don't know. So I had an inkling that I was ovulating, and just because my libido was up, I had some fertile cervical mucus, and I felt like, as I normally can feel myself ovulating, I get these really weird twingy cramps, like sharp twingy cramps. So I can usually tell when I'm ovulating, and I had some of those. So I decided to take an ovulation test, and it wasn't positive. It was almost positive. So it was like right there. So if you guys haven't taken an ovulation test before, there's 2 lines like on a pregnancy test, and the test line has to be just as dark or darker than the control line to be considered positive. Anything lighter and it's considered negative. Well, these tests were almost positive. The control line the test line was just slightly, ever so slightly light. And so I followed it up the next day to see if it would get darker. So darker means I was ovulating, or lighter, which means I would have already ovulated. And the next day, it was pretty much the same. It hadn't gotten any darker, but it hadn't gotten any lighter. So I was like, okay, so I'm confused. Am I getting ready to ovulate, or am I coming back down from ovulation? And so again, the next day I tested it, and the next day it was a lot lighter. So I'm assuming that I had ovulated when I felt those cramps. And because I always can tell when I ovulate. So I'm assuming that is when I ovulated, and I just caught my OPKs after ovulation. So I know roughly when I ovulated, and it was technically early. Now, if my past history is anything to go by, I'm pretty sure this month might have a chance. Because in past experiences for both of my live children, I think actually all my pregnancies, if I think about it right, every single one I've ovulated early. Every single one. I know for a fact my 2 boys, I ovulated early for both of them. And I think maybe my miscarriages as well, but I can't quite remember. But I know for a fact my 2 boys, I ovulated early. And so this month I ovulated 2 to 3 days early. Like I said, I don't know exactly when I ovulated. I just know that it was, I started testing on cycle day 12, and you're supposed to ovulate on cycle day 14. So I could have ovulated on cycle day 11, or I could have ovulated on cycle day 12. I don't know, but somewhere around there. So either way, it's early. Another thing I noticed, on months where I guess you could say I can't stay off my husband, those months seem to be my more fertile months where I seem to get pregnant more often. Like I said, I can't really remember a whole lot, but I know with my last pregnancy, the one I had a miscarriage, that was the case. It was one of those months where my libido was just through the roof. And we actually had fun trying to make a baby. And that was definitely this month. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, like I said, there'll be another pregnancy taking test video like you guys saw last time. There'll definitely be another one of those coming out soonish. So you guys will be seeing that. But that is kind of where we are right now. We are in the 2-week wait, as they call it. So I've already ovulated. But it's not time to start taking pregnancy tests yet. So we're kind of in that limbo area where we're just waiting to find out if our endeavors worked. So I will update you guys, or you'll see my pregnancy test come out. And that'll kind of be an update. Either it'll be, oh, we're pregnant, it'll be like a pregnancy announcement, or it'll be, this month didn't work either. Like I said, this is cycle 10, I think. Cycle 9. This is cycle 9, but it is our 11th month trying. It will be a year at the end of July. So we're getting there. I am working very closely with my doctor, and she is right there on board. She's supportive of anything we want to do. So we're just chugging along. So I will talk to you guys all later. And I can't wait for you guys to see my pregnancy test video, rather it be positive or negative. I really enjoyed filming that last time. It was kind of fun to have something to do while I'm sitting there staring at those blank tests. So I really enjoyed it. So you guys will definitely see that again. So I will see you guys all later. Bye.